Here are 6 Spider-Man No Way Home moments that almost happened, but didn't. Folks, it turns out that J. Jonah Jameson might have been onto something after all, because not only do people want pictures of Spider-Man, they want moving pictures of Spider-Man, and lots of them.
I'll give you $200 for all of them.
That seems a little low.
Nearly a month after it debuted in theaters, Spider-Man No Way Home continues to absolutely shatter box office records. Directed by John Watts, the final entry in this first Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy has a little bit of everything. Spider-Man villains from across the multiverse, Doctor Strange messing with forces beyond his control, and a deeply satisfying way to bring over 20 years of Spider-Man storytelling to a conclusion. Of course, there are plenty of lingering questions, dangling plot threads, and massive implications for not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the universe formerly known as the SPUMC. But we're not going to talk about those today, because today we're focusing on the biggest moments in Spider-Man No Way Home that almost happened, but didn't. From classic characters returning to cut cameos and beyond, these are the deleted scenes, plot lines, and moments that almost made the cut. However, in order to talk about them, we may need to spoil what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're worried about spoilers still, leave now before you see something that you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, remember we went to Germany? You pay-per-viewed a video in your room? They didn't list the titles, but I could tell by the price it was an adult film at the front desk, and you didn't know how I knew?
Okay, fine, it's you, stop!
Alright, let's get into it, shall we? Let's begin with something that everyone loved about Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's the cavalcade of returning villains who came to the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Peter Parker interrupted Doctor Strange mid-spell. With Raimi-verse classics like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Sandman, as well as Lizard and Elektra from the Amazing Spider-Verse, it was a spandex-clad trip down memory lane in the best way possible. But according to the film's writers, the sinister Several originally had a much smaller role in the movie than they wound up with. Speaking with The Wrap, screenwriters Chris McKenna and Eric Summers said these iconic villains were originally only going to be together on screen in a post-credit scene rather than be the main antagonists of this film. McKenna said, "We go, okay, we know that we're dealing with the fallout from Spider-Man Far From Home. What would happen?" And that led us down different story roads that were not this story. And then, I don't know if it was Kevin Feige's idea, the idea of doing something with the other villains and teasing that at the very end of the movie, I think in a tag, was floated. And while that sounds kind of just like a beefier version of that scene in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 teasing the Sinister Six, thankfully cooler heads prevailed. According to McKenna, I think it was Kevin who goes, "Remember that idea with all the villains that we were talking about for a tag, that Sinister Six idea? Why don't we just do it in the movie? Make this movie be about that." And then that just sort of blew everything open. So if the Sinister Six -1 weren't going to be the villains of Spider-Man No Way Home, who was in the original script? Well, as it turns out, everyone's favorite fur vest-wearing Russian madman, Craven the Hunter. Now, for those who don't know him, Craven is a world-famous big game hunter hell-bent on capturing the ultimate prize, Spider-Man. First appearing in 1964's Amazing Spider-Man number 15, he was a founding member of the Sinister Six and even buried Spider-Man alive at one point during the Craven's Last Hunt arc. Speaking with Collider, Tom Holland explained that Spider-Man No Way Home was in fact originally a Craven movie. For a long time, there was going to be a Craven movie that was going to be the third movie because things weren't working out and all sorts of different stuff. John pitched me this Craven movie, which actually was really cool. I don't want to talk about it in case that movie ends up happening down the line, but it was fun. Now, it has been a long-term goal, apparently, of McKenna and Summers to get Craven into the Spider-Verse as well. Because speaking with The Wrap, McKenna said, "I don't think there's been a draft of any of the Spider-Man movies where Craven the Hunter wasn't the villain." To which Summers added, "Craven's cool, he's got the fur and the thing." Which, sure, I don't know what the thing is, but maybe it's that je ne sais Craven. Now, part of the reason for this change, though, is that Sony actually has other plans for Craven. Much like Venom and Morbius, they are spinning Craven out to have his own solo film directed by J.C. Shandor and starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. That movie's set to come out on January 13th, 2023, but considering how many delays that Morbius has had, I'd take that date with a grain of salt. So while Craven heads will have to wait to satisfy their Craven cravings until the solo movie drops, the iconic villain does make a cameo appearance of sorts in Spider-Man No Way Home. During the film's finale, when interlopers from other realities begin appearing in the sky, one of the silhouettes you can make out is undeniably that of Craven the Hunter. For more on that, though, check out our breakdown over on Nerdist.com. Now, speaking of characters from other universes, the worst kept secret in Hollywood last year might have been the fact that Spider-Man No Way Home didn't just have one Peter Parker, but 3. From recreating that Spider-Man pointing meme to providing closure on each of these characters' journeys, No Way Home threaded a seemingly impossible narrative needle. However, that didn't stop fans from hoping to see even more familiar faces in the mix, and rightly so.
Give me rent.
No, not Mr. Ditkovich, although I did half expect to see him when Tom Holland's Peter moves into that crappy apartment at the end of the movie. No, many fans were hoping for a glimpse of Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson or Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, but unfortunately those hopes were dashed. And for good reason. In an already 3-hour-long movie, extra cameos for the sake of fan service and nostalgia would just make the movie even longer. Now, the writers confirmed to Variety that earlier versions of the script did include more classic characters. According to McKenna, let's write the script that is the kitchen sink, and we'll just act like we're gonna get everything we wish for. And like Peter's wish, it became a nightmare and it required very, very talented people to help us not die at the end. We went down different roads with different characters that just didn't fit. We can't get into the details of that because it might be the kind of thing where they'll find a way to explore those ideas, so I'd hate to spoil anything because I think we had a lot of fun. So never say never, Spider-Man fans, because anything is possible, especially when you're dealing with the multiverse.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
And while the seeds of the multiverse in the MCU can be traced all the way to Avengers Infinity War, where Doctor Strange glimpsed those 14,605 possible futures, Spider-Man No Way Home blew this concept wide open. And now Doctor Strange is going to have to plunge headfirst into the titular multiverse of madness in his forthcoming sequel this May. But he won't be fighting multiversal variants of himself all alone, though. He'll have some help from the likes of Wong, Scarlet Witch, and newcomer America Chavez. Now, for those who don't know, America Chavez was created by Joe Casey and Nick Dragata, first appearing in 2011's Vengeance #1. She has the ability to create star-shaped portals that let her travel across the multiverse. And according to IGN and concept art floating around the internet, she very nearly made her debut in Spider-Man No Way Home. Although the artist has since deleted the original post containing the concept art, the genie was impossible to put back in the bottle, and now it's been reposted by multiple accounts. Now, the scene in question depicts America Chavez holding some kind of magical book, hopefully not the Darkhold, in front of Peter and MJ in the middle of a bunch of bumper cars. But instead of a carnival scene, we have to wait just a little bit longer to see America's official debut in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness this May. And with that said, America Chavez wasn't the only MCU character cut from the final film either. While Tony Stark's shadow continues to loom large over the Marvel Universe in the wake of his death in Avengers Endgame, No Way Home sees Peter coming into his own as a hero thanks in no small part to his multiversal variants. However, we nearly had another connection to the late great Tony Stark in this movie beyond Happy Hogan and his sleep apnea machine. Apparently, Tony and Pepper's daughter Morgan Stark originally made an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, but the scene was cut from the final version according to Showbiz Cheat Sheet. Now, it's unclear as to what that final scene actually entailed, but hopefully it involved eating a plate full of cheeseburgers.
I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
Okay.
Now, last but not least, while Tom Holland's Peter Parker did find brotherhood with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Peter Parkers, Tom Holland's real-life brother Harry was also supposed to be in this film. As confirmed by both Tom Holland himself and a behind-the-scenes video, Harry Holland played a criminal that gets chased by Spider-Man and left hanging upside down at the end of said chase. Now, Tom Holland himself explained exactly what was going on during an appearance on the Graham Norton show. "We cast Harry and he's on set. I go up to the stunt coordinator and I'm like, please, just whatever you do with the stunt, make it so he's upside down. We're doing the scene, Harry's upside down, swinging back and forth. Bless him, he's doing a really good job. And as the day is going on, he's got these lines, and he's starting to forget his lines, and his eyes are about to pop out of his head. And it's stuff like that that makes me grateful to be an only child, but who knows, maybe they'll save that particular moment for a Lord of the Rings as extended edition down the line somewhere. In the meantime though, folks, those are all the deleted scenes, abandoned plot lines, and moments that almost happened in Spider-Man No Way Home. As for what actually happens in the movie, we have plenty of Easter eggs, deep dives, and explainers just waiting for you over on Nerdist.com. For now though, tell us, what did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home? Which of these moments do you wish made it into the final film? And what do you want to see happen next in the Spider-Verse at large?
I knew you'd come back.
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.